Sup Shredders, my name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to Nesby Reacts, where today we got ourselves a track from an act named Big Papa J, titled Life, off of the Papa's Home album. And if we switch over to here, we got ourselves a track on the screen on Spotify here, the album art here, and yeah, all 7 songs. Apparently Life is the lead single off of this release. We're gonna listen through it from start till finish, and we're gonna hear what we think. Let's do it, let's go. What have we got?
Hey, let's get it, man. You guys already know what it is. It's Nick White, and Big Papa J on the mic. Let's get the shit going. Yeah, give me everything.
Hell of a bass response.
I wanted all the pain and pleasure. No rest, I'm the best. No breaks, I wanna make every moment count. I wanna climb every mountain, taking all the scenery. I'm such a pro, I make it all look so easily. All you haters look so measly compared to me, so I won't listen to you. I'm just gonna make the most of life while I can. Bam, bam, knocking down the door that held me back. That held me back. No, I won't slack. It's time to build my stack up even more.
Interesting cadence.
Yeah, I don't wanna live in compliance anymore. I want more than that, more than that. For all the shit that I've gone through in my life, I deserve more than that, motherfucker. Yeah, I want it all. Everything this life has to give, both good and bad. I wanna know what it's like to be alive and not just live. Life is too short to watch it pass you by, so enjoy every moment you have. Every moment you have.
That bass is humongous.
Yeah, now I'm sitting in a Cadillac. You see me, I wish you could be me, so whack. Kiss my ass. I started at the bottom, now I'm here, and I'm saying, can life get any better? Middle finger to anyone who's got a problem with it. You can't be afraid to face your demons and make them your bitch. Don't be afraid to follow your dreams. Rise above the hate, and you'll be fine. Yeah, I don't wanna live in compliance anymore. I want more than that, more than that. For all the shit that I've gone through in my life, I deserve more than that, motherfucker. Yeah, I want it all. Everything this life has to give, both good and bad. I wanna know what it's like to be alive and not just live. Life is too short to watch it pass you by, so enjoy every moment you have. Every moment you have.
And I suppose that's it. Oh, nice little fade out there with those synths. Okay, interesting. We're going to talk about this track more in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion, my review of this track from an act named Big Papa J, titled Life, off of the Papa's Home album. In this section, I'm going to provide an overall song analysis of everything from lyrics, vocals, all the way through to studio production, as well as any applicable constructive critique, and then finally my general thoughts from a listener's perspective. But before we go any further, what do we think this track is about? I think this track is simultaneously about Big Papa J discussing the world that they want to build for themselves, the success they want to create. Like, they talk about rolling in a Cadillac and people being jealous of that and that being sort of like whack. But they also talk about in other parts about following your dreams, you know, like following your dreams, don't give up, etc. So it's almost like we're trying to simultaneously discuss the position we're in, but also that it's possible for other people to get there, and almost like being jealous of, you know, Big Papa J is counterintuitive. It's actually better to sort of focus on your own growth and development as a person and musician. Don't be afraid to face your demons and make them your bitch. I mean, I think lines like that are just innately helpful in a sense, primarily because it says to people, yeah, I know you've got troubles and trials and tribulations, but if you can overcome these, you can get somewhere. You know, look at what I've been able to accomplish. You know, like that from Big Papa J's perspective. I mean, it's just ultimately, I think that's a really positive story. You know, like I like the way that it's communicated because it's so down to earth and accessible. Big Papa J, what I like about how they approach things is it's so personable. There's an interesting rhyme, rhythm, and cadence structure to it. Like the way that we flow with some of those lines, some are shorter than others, and we're not kind of blockish with the length of them or anything like that. We allow some parts to be shorter than others. And it's almost like we're kind of comfortable to play with even polyrhythmic or polymeter elements there, you know, in contrast to what's going on with the surrounding synth bass drum parts. It's also interesting to have less of a focus on the vocals within a hip hop and rap track like this. You know, we have a lot of the instrumental presented by itself. We don't seem to feel the need to decorate it for the entirety of it with different vocal chops or like additional double tracks or sort of like more kind of more colorful harmonies or bigger parts within the hook lines or anything like that. In fact, I would kind of associate this track as being more through composed in a sense, and I think that splitting the track into two and having that gap in the middle almost sort of proves that and makes that more apparent, which I think works neatly. It's almost like because of the break in the middle structurally, you're like, where are we going with this? So I appreciate how the words came through clearly. I like the contrast of the relative quietness of the vocals in the mix to how sort of like huge sounding the bass is. It was pulsing. It was very powerful bass, and that's as much a production thing as a vocal thing. He's just very sort of present in his range, and it's nice. And in general, yeah, no, I feel like it was an authentic performance and it was comfortable. So outside of that, you know, again, structurally with the through composed track in mind at 3 minutes 26, it was quite well fleshed out. We could have potentially have had more instruments included within ours. The primary ones were, again, those synth pads there, the huge sounding bass or 808s that went alongside those drums. But we didn't necessarily need more. It was done in a way where I feel like we could, you know, provide a ground floor for Big Papa J to rap on. And I think that's all we needed. In a sense, it provided a minor key leading which insinuated a sort of a darkness to it. But it was also this kind of almost meditative, hypnotic bow, bow, this like note that continues to play throughout those verses, which is just on this loop there that kind of clicks you back into attention. And we have that starting from the beginning. It's such a minimalist intro with just a bow, bow, bow with the reverb tails on it with the vocals then leading you in. And we kind of stick with that root note there and we pulse and rive with it with the mixture of the cicada-ish kind of hi-hats with the 16th note triplets there occasionally. Or it could be just 16th notes there, but like ultimately I like the pulse of the kick, how it's sidechained within the mix. I think we literally just have cymbals and kicks, don't we? But the pads sound dreamy, they're gorgeous sounding like around the 130 mark for example, as well as in other bits in that mid-range. And I feel like we've got the frequency spectrum as filled out as we need or want to, and we kind of just have these moments without the bass or the drums there where things kind of float, such as around the 145 mark, before we come into that second half. And we know what we're getting ourselves into because we're so used to it with the first that it's like we've come home. So to finish the track with another loop of that and then to end with that kind of fade out of most of the instruments with that synth line or that pad line kind of like letting us out is good. It feels like the end. It's like there's some closure to it. And it's just simple. It's very simple, yet it's, you know, harmonically competent. Thematically, you know, it's got a main sort of progression which is 4-chordal, and it just kind of, or 3-chordal, it just goes boom, 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 and then like in the verse parts it just has that root note that it ruminates on, and that variety between those is enough. You know, you don't need to overcomplicate it further. It's just nice to have two different bass lines within a 3.5 minute track just for a bit of, again, harmonic variety there. And they're triads, they're not complicated, but that's okay because we don't need it to be too wild in terms of the nuance. Most of the things that we're trying to communicate are done so by the vocals. It's just more sort of atmosphere oriented with the instrumental components in the background as well as the groove with the drums and percussion. But yeah, no chromatics either, you know, just nice and clean in that regard. And yeah, it's again a minimalist array of instruments that doesn't overstay its welcome. The studio recording, mixing, and mastering is good. I feel it was an interesting choice to have the single recorded vocals throughout the track there. You could have potentially have double tracked some parts for emphasis, but it was almost like because it was a single track, we're having a conversation with the listener or like a monologue. In that regard, it's kind of fascinating. I think the huge sound of the bass and the low end there was well mixed, actually. It was heavy sounding and it didn't interfere with other parts. Like there might have been a bit of pushing in the limiter because of how some parts broke up a little bit, but that could have also have been an effect they had on some of those pads. You know, it's totally fine. I feel like with the leveling of stuff, it was deliberate. Yeah, music surrounded you in the stereo field and the headphones, left and right side of the cans, and there weren't any weird resonant frequencies in the frequency spectrum. You know, things were pretty well niched in their areas. You're side chatting with the percussion, the kick drums, nice and loud. Bass compression limiting is handled. Just, yeah, really good mix. Really happy with it. So there's no applicable constructive critique from me. Again, I feel like we understood what we wanted to accomplish to provide a subtle listening experience without overwhelming the listener. And from a final general listener's perspective, it's just nice to hear someone who understands the basics, who can put them forward in a palatable combination, and who can deliver lines where if they were authentic, it seemed kind of cringe authentically. You know, it seems like Big Papa J does want you to accomplish your ambitions, and you know, if they can find success, you can too. I believe what they're saying there, so I feel if for nothing else, that makes it more effective. But I wish everyone involved all the best of luck in future with the musical endeavors, because thank you for watching my review of this track from Big Papa J, titled Life, off of Papa's Home. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please go show them some love via their various social medias and their Spotify page, and stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians in our point in time, as you need the help more than ever with all the crazies going on in the world. And I'll catch you in the next SP Reacts. Spiderhands out.